a few days before the MTV Awards. It hit me in the shower. And when I first thought of it, I just started like laughing to myself. And it like all this like joy came over my body, just through my soul. And I just felt that energy. I felt that spirit. So then 2 days later, I accepted the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Awards at the MTV Awards. And instead of performing, my array of hit songs, I gave just my perspective on award shows. But always I knew at the end I was going to tell people I'm running for office. I'm running for president in 2020. And, just to have it even took heart to say it in that context. And people were just like, oh, like their minds were blown. And then I was hanging out with I had different friends that were, some people in the music industry, some people tech elites, different things like that. And they would really, they just really took it as a joke. And they're telling me all these millions of reasons why I couldn't run for president. I remember running into Oprah 2 days or 1 day after that. And she's like, you don't want to be president. And, people just, thought projecting, putting this on you. And I remember saying, one of my responses to one of the naysayers was, well, I'll definitely be a billionaire by that time. And not that that's a reason why someone should become president, but it's to say, at that time I was around $50 million in debt. And I knew I had the confidence that I would be able to turn that around. And now, just going into, I want to just give you that's a clear answer.
Right. I know what you're saying.
I don't want to go off onto a
no, it's okay.
It's, yeah.
What you're basically saying is you know how to set goals, you know how to achieve them.
Pervert.
But what was Oprah's rationale when she said you don't want to be the president? Like, what was she saying? Because remember when people were saying that's our next president? Remember when Trump got elected? They showed Oprah and they were saying like there was, I believe it was like NBC tweeted it. This is our next president. Like a lot of people wanted Oprah to run, and they felt like if Trump could win, Oprah could win.
When I saw Trump win, I was like, see,
Hassan,
you can win. You can win if you're coming from outside of politics. I was young when Ronald Reagan was president. I don't remember.
But Ronald Reagan was the governor of California before he was the president. He'd actually proven himself as a politician, at least somewhat.
Which is an idea that people have thrown out at me to
be governor of California?
To be governor of California.
Anyone's better than this guy. Just go ahead, start there, give it a shot, open things up again, man.
But I think my calling is to be. I believe that my calling is to be the leader of the free world. Not. I mean, if it's in God's plan that part of my path is to be the governor, then.
Okay, is this real? I have to say, is this real or is he still faking it? Or is he like this delusional? Is he actually this delusional or is he fucking faking it for like selling merch and shit like that? It's delusion, right? It's got to be delusion, right? I don't know if it's like a stunt for his new album at this point. Like maybe a mixture of both. Like maybe it's like performance art. I'm sorry, bro. You can make the best albums on the fucking planet, but like as soon as you say God told me to fucking become the leader of the free world, I'm like, no, you're out of your mind. Like you're fucking completely insane. I'm sorry. Every president says that. No, they don't. And the ones that do say that are fucking insane. George W. Bush said God told him to invade Iraq. That's insanity. Okay? That's delusional and that's genocidal too.
That's fine. But my calling is to be the leader of the free world.
So when you say this, like when you say your calling is to be the leader of the free world, what does that mean to you? Does it mean do you have a plan that's different than the plans that have been implemented before?
Bro, you guys are literally using, you said Mike Pence told him multiple times. Yeah. He's also delusional. Like, stop giving me examples of delusional people to be like, well, this guy said it. Okay. Like what? You think the guy who calls his wife mother has got no screws loose up there? He's a fucking born again, dude. Like, no disrespect, but born agains and like adult converts and reverts, adult reverts are some of the most intense I've ever met in my entire life. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, and this pertains to Islam too.
Does it mean that you have ideas?
What kind of plan?
Like the plan to be the leader. Like, what would you do if you were the leader of the free world? Like, what would be different about the way you would handle things? Like, if that's your plan, like, what is it about that is your calling? Like, why would you want to do that? Like, what
okay, this is why Joe's a good interviewer. Okay, here, I'm gonna not pause it. This is why Joe's a good interviewer, though. He didn't even think twice about being like, that's crazy, and instead he's just continuing on with the conversation.
People will say to me, you know, they'll say, well, music is bigger than politics or more influential than politics, or celebrities are more influential. And I thought of it like if I was a pastor of 100,000 person church, but then I was also a captain, a sailor. And then we went to war, and I said, I'm going to man this ship that has 1,000 people, 1,000 soldiers on it, because God is calling me to take this position. Even though I'm the pastor for, you know, however big my audience is in hip hop, in music, or as just an influencer or celebrity, or just as a dad and a husband in my house, the world is like, there couldn't be a better time to put a visionary in the captain's chair. And that's not to say we haven't had visionaries before. I'm not coming here to down any of the other. I'm not here to down Trump, down Biden. I'm just here to express why God has called me to take this position.
So when you say a visionary, you think of yourself in terms of like as an artist, as a creator, as someone who has these thoughts that they manifest in terms of music and art and creation, design, the things that you do. Mm-hmm. That's why you think you're different as a visionary.
Yeah, I think I'm different from. I mean, we're all different. So I'm definitely different from everybody. We're all different from each other. I mean, I do bump into people that seem to be like the same character inside of. Yeah. It's like.
I've seen one of those before.
Yeah, people play the same role. It's like, man, I just met you before. You're just like the head of this company over here. You're the same kind of person. Yeah, you know, I mean, I manifest. I see things. I'm a great leader because I listen, and I'm empathetic, and I feel the entire earth, and I feel us as a species, as the human race. Like sometimes people think utopia as almost like a negative word. That's like we couldn't have that, but I do believe in world peace. Like the people hit me with one of the things Oprah said is she said, you got to bone up on your foreign affairs. I remember this, like, because it's Oprah talking, so I'm gonna remember a lot of what the conversation was. But that's the first thing she said was, you know, foreign affairs and foreign policies. Like, just I think the reason why I say leader and not politician or not even specifically president is this is the time. You know, when the Constitution was written, that was an innovation. Now, the world is innovated all around our political system, but we haven't innovated and simplified our political system. So I met with this gentleman, Sam, one of the founders of Y Combinator. So Y Combinator is a contract that my friend, the head of Dropbox, used, and that a lot of tech guys use, and it's a standardized deal. So one of the ideas I had when I was, as I'm in this process of innovating, I'm not in war with the music industry.
Dude, he's so lost in the sauce.
It's time for us to innovate. And we need to have contracts that
like all the tech spirituality with these like libertarian freaks who in the tech world focus on like spirituality and all this other like marketing elements, and that's usually what it is. Like tech isn't necessarily disruptive, but more often than not, it's just like a way to bypass like pre-existing labor regulations and then call it disruptive. You know what I mean? Like they'll take something that existed already and like act like it's disruptive, like a vending machine. If you guys remember, they said that like these bodegas are going to open up without unmanned bodegas every corner. I mean, I'm just basically describing to you what fucking Groupon is to coupons, describing to you what Uber is to literally having to employ people as employees and not just contractors. That's exactly what they do, and then they call it disruptive. Kanye has, of course, unfortunately, he's brilliant as an artist and talented and creative, but not very smart when it comes to recognizing that he's being sold a fucking lie in most other circumstances, and that's why he loves Candace Owens and shit. So he's like become the most annoying kind of like neoliberal tech bro, like technocratic neoliberal entrepreneur who like loves spirituality.